Before we start, I want to say a few things. The following video clips are from the YouTube channel called Melanie King. She is doing a reaction video to a reaction video from the YouTube channel called Erico TV. I will put a link to these videos in the description. Melanie King supports men's issues. She provides the truth and a lot of helpful information to men. I came of age or grew up in the 70s and the 80s. Back then, a man paid for everything. Women were not expected to pay for anything. However, like the host will say in the video, back then, we men did feel resentment when the woman did not understand that the man did not have a lot of money. For example, I dated a girl named Pam, whose father was Japanese and whose mother was black. And I also dated a girl named Joy, whose father was black, and her mother was Thai. Plus, I dated a girl named Vicky, who was Native American. They all told me that they were going to date or see other men. However, when we went on dates, they still expected me to pay for everything. The reason why I kept paying for it all was because I was getting sex. Plus, if you dated a woman with children, then the man paid half the babysitting costs. In fact, it was cheaper to date around compared to having a steady girlfriend. Having a steady girlfriend costs a lot of money. If she sleeps over at your house, then you are paying for breakfast, paying to put gas in your car to pick her up and drive her home. Then you are paying for snacks, and this is in addition to lunch. Paying for gas to drive her around town. And this does not include the gas you are paying for to take her on dates. Even if you two do not go to a restaurant for dinner and cook at home, you now have extra food costs. Thus, it was cheaper to see or date many women at the same time compared to having a steady girlfriend. And a long-distance relationship can break the bank. I will never again do a long-distance relationship. Back then, a typical first date was a dinner date at a restaurant, a movie or a lunch date. We did not have coffee houses in the 70s and the 80s. A movie date can end up costing more than a dinner date. I went on 2 dinner dates as a first date in my whole life, and each time I never got a second date. So I spent all that money, and it turned into bad dates. I then said to myself, if I got to pay, then I will take the girl to a place that I will enjoy. This way, if the date goes bad, at least I had done something I enjoyed, and I will not feel like I wasted a lot of money. So in college, the first date might be lunch, renting a movie and watching it at my apartment, getting ice cream and walking around, or just hanging out with each other after class. After college, the first date might be bowling or miniature golf. Going to the Chicago museums on the days when it was free to visit. Now today, in Chicago there are no free admission days. Sightsee around downtown Chicago and get pastries, candy corn, popcorn or hot dogs. Back then, the John Hancock observation deck was free. The Lincoln Park Zoo was free, and parking was free at night in Chicago on the weekends. The Chicago lakefront is a gigantic park, and at night it can be a very romantic place. Get some cheap pizza or seafood and eat it at the lakefront. Plus, Buckingham Fountain can be a nice first date in Chicago at night. When I had my motorcycle, sometimes me and the girl would drive down country roads and just sightsee, or go to a local lake at night. There would never be anyone at the local lake at night. I know women always expect food on the first date. So what I would do is call the girl the day before and say, I thought about just hanging out on the lakefront or miniature golf. This way she knows to eat before the date. If she says no, then move on to the next girl. Back then, these were cheap dates. Now today, I do not know how much this stuff costs. For years, all my money went into my business. Then I got cancer, and now I am finally at a point where I can walk for almost 1 hour. So hopefully, I will be going to Thailand or the Philippines in July 2023. Only 2 girls I dated ever paid. One of these girls was named Kelly, and she took me to a nice restaurant for my birthday, and she paid. I was in shock. I did not know how to handle it. Kelly did lingerie modeling. And yet, she was a girl who did not realize how beautiful she truly was. She would complain that her hair was not thick and full enough. Plus, Kelly was the only girl that ever cooked for me. The other girl who paid was a girl named Stacy, who was an ex-adult film actress. As old as I am, no other girl has ever offered to pay. Anyway, nothing has really changed. Women want a traditional man, but they themselves are not traditional women. They take advantage of the fact that most men worldwide are traditional. For example, women are more promiscuous today, and they call it being sexually liberated. And every other woman you run into is a single mother. Plus, all of them believe and act like they are prettier than what they truly are. After they get past the age of 27 or 30. After they can no longer compete with younger women. After they had their fun with many other men. After their friends have moved on because of demanding jobs or got married. After they got between 2 and 3 kids. After they got a lot of credit cards and personal debts. Because of such debts, they need a man to help them financially. Then they say they do not need a man to pay their bills or debts. However, when the man is paying the rent, paying for all the food, water and electricity, reduces a lot of stress for these women. After all of this, they now want to act like they are traditional women. So I understand what you men are going through today. For my female subscribers, a man does not marry the prettiest girl. A man marries the girl who is the best for him.
Who should pay?
Surprise, surprise.
I know. I mean, that's what I told them. You know, I'm sorry.
But-
I would say I'm dating. We're dating.
But here's the
gentleman here.
Here, okay. He's supposed to pay.
Yeah, that's
You're
what I told him.
but you're supposed to have sex with him whenever he says.
No. Whenever Walt
What's
wanted, right?
where does this double standard come from? I'm sorry, it's the reality. You guys can moan at it all you want, but the moment you say to a guy, you have to fucking pay for my time, this relationship isn't equal. This relationship isn't equal. My time is worth more than yours, so you should pay for it. I wonder what paradigm that sets up. Here's my view. If you go on a date with a guy and you don't offer to pay your share, you weren't taught right. If you go on a date and he doesn't pay, he wasn't taught right. I can tell you right now, if I was dating someone and they never offered to pay, I wouldn't be dating them. I can tell you that now. If they never offered to pay, I would not be dating them because I'd say, this is the most polite they're ever going to be. And they're not even trying to pay now.
This makes so much sense to me. This is, like I said, like right now, the culture, the dating culture is where men should be traditional and do all these traditional things, pay for everything, be these men literally from 1950, but women are allowed to be from 2050 and can be as modern as possible. Women can make the same amount as men, make more than men, all these different things. But women, they want these benefits of a wife before they are somebody's wife. They want a man to pay for everything, but it's illogical on its face. We aren't set up like the 1950s anymore, but women keep demanding treatment like that, but they're not behaving like those women did. And they're not, they want to have careers or to do all this stuff for careers, and that's fine. I don't have no problem with that. But then you can't demand, well, now I want to be a stay-at-home wife. I want a man to pay for my entire life. And the way men paid for things back then, people weren't traveling international, buying Gucci and living above their means and trying to impress people on Instagram. They didn't have this diva princess mentality, at least not the average woman. Maybe a Hollywood woman, but not the average woman. But now everybody's Hollywood. Everybody's a 10. Everybody deserves a Birkin bag. Everybody needs to go to Dubai. And it's irrational. But it starts here with dating. Like if you don't have that generosity in you, that generous spirit where you can't pay for any dates, it's so the man is supposed to just do all this for you without any type of benefits or wanting anything in return. And this is where I talk about, I did a breakdown of the 90-day rule and how it is so unfair. It is so illogical, especially because it's done in secret and it's a way to trick a man. But this right here, he's confirming what I've already known. And I think it's a poverty mentality, honestly, to not offer to pay, to not want to pay for some of the dates. You just don't understand economics or even understanding or caring about a man and contributing to that relationship and eventually a family. But everybody wants a free ride. I know. I'm just hating. I'm hating, y'all. Okay.
What does that say about my future? But look, let me come at this from a different angle. I will always treat my partner how I would treat my best friend. And I wouldn't apply a different standard to my partner than my best friend. I wouldn't say to my best friend, let's always go out to dinner and you always pay. I'd say, let's be teammates here in whatever way we can. And maybe, by the way, proportionately, what you can do is less than what he can do. That's a different thing. If he says to you, I want to go stay at the top hotel in Big Sur this weekend, and it's $1,500 a night, and you say, I don't have the money. It's his job to say, it doesn't matter. I didn't do it so you could pay. I did it because I want to go and I want to take you. Great. That's what that is, right? Or if you both agree to go on holiday and you have a fifth of his earning potential, you say, I want to contribute to a fifth of this holiday. It's overly simplistic, but you get what I'm saying, right? I will contribute on the level I can contribute. Let me tell you what means something to a guy. Trying. That means something to a guy. When he feels that you're not even trying to contribute, that's when he feels used. Because any guy who's really confident and self-respecting, if the woman never is even trying to contribute, he feels like he's being taken advantage of.
Yeah, and this is what I mean, I like, women get mad and in their feelings, but if you're not getting the results that you want, why not listen? Why not change? Why not understand what men actually want? Men across the board aren't demanding that you pay for everything and all this other stuff. But women can have this high list of demands, and women just think they can just arrive with a vajayjay, that's what I call it sometimes, a vajayjay at the table. And because they have female anatomy and they're dressed up, that is something to a man. Yeah, if he just wants to knock you down, then that's good enough. But you have to show some type of inner character and offering to pay. Paying sometimes, that shows generosity. It shows you're not gluttonous, full of greed. You know, the love of money is the root of all evil. And so many women don't see that. They don't see where, they want a man's money, but they don't want to share what they have with a man. And I'll be honest, you know this is true. Like, ladies can cap and say, you're just trying to pander to men. Okay, sis, then I am. I'm pandering to men. Don't take advice. You're hard-headed, and that's your problem right now. Nobody can tell you nothing. You can't think outside of any box, and you're gonna keep getting the results that you get. I had to say the same thing to myself. Anything I'm saying on here, I've said it to myself in worse, and I've tried to do the work to understand different things. This may not be my issue, but I have other issues that I have to work on. I always share it with you guys and be transparent about what I'm working on. But so many women are so hard-headed, stubborn, full of pride and ego. Nobody can tell you nothing, and you perfect as you is. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But this man is an expert in relationships, and he's not hard on thoughts. He doesn't hate women. He's not a misogynist, and he's telling you like it is. But I guess even he is going to get hate for something like this.
And it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the lack of gesture. So I would be looking at, if you like this guy, maybe if you're in different positions, figure out what you want to contribute proportionately or what you can contribute proportionately, and treat him as you would your best friend.
It shows an inner character. It shows a heart attitude. It shows a certain type of spirit. And it's shocking. Like, when I date and I pay for things, men are in shock. Like, it's just never happened for them. And I'm just like, it just is what it is. Like, I have the money. God has blessed me with resources or ability to make money. And it's not just for me to hold on to or be gluttonous and just spend it on a bunch of luxury items and consuming it to myself, but I'm investing. If I'm interested in a man, if I see his character, this is somebody I'm interested in moving forward with, I'm going to invest, not just, showing up with my boobs out and hoping that, I tantalize him between his legs. But I want to, if I'm really I see that potential, I want to invest, not only my time, my emotions, but also monetarily. And it means something to a man. If you want to impress a man, do this.
Thank you for watching. Please click the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video.